Hello, everyone. My name is Swire. You can also call me the promo guy. Thank you for tuning in. My guest today is Ivan Gonzalez from IG1 Communication. Ivan is a award-winning video production company, and he has been in the industry for a long time. Good morning, Ivan.
Good morning, Swire. How are you?
Good, good. So I have a question for you. You have been, award-winning video production company. Can you tell the viewer a little bit about yourself and how IG1 Communication able to help your clients?
Sure. I'll give you a little bit of background about myself. I've been in advertising and marketing and television production for about over 20 years now. And my last job was as a producer of national commercials. And 6 years ago, I decided I would start my own business. And so fast forward now, and I've got IG1, and we're helping businesses of all sizes, from mom and pop shops all the way to Fortune 500 companies. And yeah, the biggest problems that I help solve for my clients is I'm working with CEOs, marketing directors, or small business owners who are very excited that they have a brand new service or product and they want the world to know about it. But then they're very frustrated because they can't figure out how to tell everybody how it works, or how to explain how it works in 60 seconds or less, and get more customers. And so I help them by creating video content, and we'll do all kinds of videos, from explainer videos, testimonials, social media videos, corporate videos. We do a lot of those. So we help them with all that. So yeah, it's a very fun, and every day is different. So it's always great.
Mhm. Our topic today is content matters. So creating the right content for your company, you have actually touched on that with different commercial, different segment, and I'm sure that you notice, and I'm sure everyone noticed since the pandemic. We all online, buying things and go on our daily life. I see a lot more video out there. You know, um, so how does it work? Like, how do you help a company to decide what type of content is best for them?
Well, there's all kinds of different content that you can have. One of the things is they're saying that by the end of this year, we could have up to 80% of all of the content on the internet have a video, because I mean, face it, where our attention span has gotten so small now
Mhm.
that nobody wants to read anymore. So if there's a video that I can learn quickly about a product, I'm gonna watch that instead of reading about it. And so that's why people have kind of progressed to that. And then now that we're in front of the computer all day, it's just, it just makes more sense, instead of seeing, video, words on the screen the whole time. Um, there's all kinds of different content that you can have if you are a business owner, or if you run a business. I would say the number one return on investment that you're going to get is the number one way to build trust in your audience is going to be testimonial videos.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
So how does that work? Do I just instead of because when let's say I go to a restaurant, I check the rating on Yelp on Google reviews. So is it the same way? It's just telling their experience, or do you want them to like be like an ambassador to kind of like promote and sell your product and services?
Well, in a way, a testimonial becomes your ambassador. You don't have to ask them to be that for you, but it's easy to just ask them to be honest, and especially if you provide a good product or service, like
Mhm.
I'm sure you do, Swire. And so let's say you have a customer that you have a great relationship with, and they're always happy with what you provide. So now you ask them if they don't mind being on camera for, a little bit, and just answer a few questions like, hey, what is the experience like buying from you? And then if they have some nice things to say, then right away they become your ambassador without them trying to, and without
Mhm.
you having to tell them they're going to be your spokesperson. They're just, you have this great relationship, and now you're kind of putting them, and if they are a good business, they represent a good brand, and now everybody gets to see that, hey, if that business has such great things to say for Swire, then maybe I should try him out because he could do wonders for my business.
Well, I agree to that, but I also have a concern. So
Yes.
I would agree that if I am able to have, some of our client to be on, the testimonial for videos, that serves two ways. Obviously, they could be the ambassador, and also, if the person, hopefully the CEO is on the video, then he or she will be sharing it to their social media, so that really good, awareness, brand awareness for ourselves. But on the other hand, we have lots of competitors out there. So they'll know, oh, okay, this CEO is buying promotional products, so or whatever product and services that the client is doing. Uh, do you afraid that people will go after my client because now I'm letting everyone know who that person is that is in charge?
Yes, the way I see it, there's always going to be sharks in the water. So you're going to get in, your client is swimming in the waters, and whether they're on a testimonial video or not, you still have the competition going after them. The
Mhm.
competition is still trying to hit them up on LinkedIn and hit them up here and there and trying to get in with them. But just the fact that you were able to get your client to do a testimonial video, that speaks wonders for your relationship with the client. And that right there is, if your relationship is good because you've been helping them so well, then I think that's what really matters. And obviously that's going to come across in the video, but especially because they've given a testimonial about you, your relationship with them is already up here. So anybody else trying to contact them, they're down here still. They're just trying to cold call them, and it's like, good luck trying to turn them into their customer. Because I'm sure if you provide good service for them and you've already made them happy, there's no reason for them to go anywhere else.
I could also think on top of that, like I like to do like a pre-interview. So maybe during the process, I could really figure out questions that I ask them to prep them for the meeting, that I could find out more about why they're really buying from me. What do you like most about us? Like, if there's anything that you wanted to change of what we do, what would that be? So then we could build a better relationship. Like you said, if you really trust that person, then I've met company that said we work with another company for a long time. We trust them, we like them, and at this time we're not going to switch. And wanted to have clients like that. The more that we have clients like that, the better. Um, Another question that I have for you, obviously, we all have a cell phone, and a lot of people do it as a DIY approach, versus obviously hire you as an executive producer to professional content. How would you rate your ROI? Obviously, if you do it DIY, it's your time, right? If you hire a professional firm like you, then you get professional quality video. How would you rate the two of them, or can they coexist?
They can actually coexist. I am a proponent of, if you have, um, you want to create this much content, but you have this much budget, you should use the budget for what's really important, like the videos that you really want to make them look as professional as possible, but still create your own content. Go for it. I am all for it. I think that especially my clients, I will even help them, give them some tips and training to make their own videos as well.
Hmm.
Because I know it's, once again, have a good relationship with your clients. I know that in the end, DIY is not going to replace the level of quality that a professional video is going to do. But there's a lot of times where you need content, and maybe quantity is more important than quality in certain occasions. So just being out there and just having enough content is going to help your business more than waiting and waiting and only doing 1 or 2 videos a year. So
That's a nice approach, and you willing even to help the client, because obviously I agree. When you go to a website, then it calls for more professional type video, right? But if you are, like what we're doing going live, then it could be a more casual approach. It's still got to look nice, but then it's more live type of format. What's your idea? Because I've seen there's tons of people out there and now on YouTubers that are reviewing products. So do you like those or do you not like those? Because sometimes you don't even have any say. They just pick up, buy a product, and then they talk openly about your product, good and bad. So it could be a lot of sales if a YouTuber pick up your products and people, they have 5 million followers, like my daughters, right? Coloring pants, her favorite YouTuber use it, we have to buy it, right? Or they could bad mouth about the graphic cards that you have of my son, building a computer, then people don't buy them. So how would you advise, or should they be participating in it, so to maybe to send in the right parts so then it becomes a better reviewing experience?
Yeah, so there's actually something out there now called influencer marketing,
Hmm.
and that's what it's all about. It's
Yeah.
like in the old days, or we still do this, obviously, but in advertising, we hire a somebody who's famous, a TV personality or whatever, or a sports or a superstar,
Hmm.
and then we have them endorse our product, and we pay them millions of dollars to do this, right? It's the same exact thing that's happening now with influencers. So influencers being, the YouTubers and the Instagram stars and all those. So the great thing about influencers is now you have a certain type of person that your target demographic is always watching them. So you don't have to pay millions of dollars to Tom Cruise to say that, he likes your your sports drink or whatever. Now you pay a little less. You don't pay millions, but you still got to pay, fork out the cash and
Hmm.
pay these YouTubers. But you also, most of them have these clauses where they're going to be brutally honest about your product.
Yeah.
So you're kind of paying, but you're also taking a gamble. You hope that they like your product. So you better have a good product. If you don't, then good luck. So yeah, so that's how, I mean, it's just a different style of marketing. I recommend it if you truly believe in your product, if you think that your product is, much better. If you are, let's say you do some product that's related with arts and crafts, good luck finding a TV personality that people are going to connect with. It could be, I mean, maybe you find somebody from a certain TV station that does that, but that's
Hmm.
going to cost you more than trying to find a YouTuber that only talks about arts and crafts. And now they talk about your product and they say how it's the best thing ever. Now all these people are way more committed to whatever they're seeing. If that person talks about it, they believe her more than they would believe some TV personality.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Like if you want a mass market, let's say, for example, you take a Super Bowl ad, right? For, you're a big, beer company, then everyone, right? But then if you go to a YouTubers, you can find out exactly what their audiences are like, what their niche are. So, you could really, there are some diehard fans there, whatever the YouTuber say and does, and people copy. So, it just depends on, like you said, finding the right target market. And you don't want it to, obviously you have general video about your company, but then you can actually go into really specific and really technical, if it takes a longer learning process, or maybe they buy your golf clubs, they don't know how to swing it, they don't, and then they gave up golf. Then you want to keep them engaged and keep them swinging, then they'll buy more clubs, more clubs.
Yes, exactly. And I used to do a lot of infomercials back in the day that were golf products. So it's funny because I could see we would hire a lot of golf professionals, but those were expensive. I mean,
Mhm.
one infomercial like that was $1 million plus whatever the professional would cost just to say that they like these golf clubs. And it's just a lot of money. But maybe for that kind of genre, it helps, to do that because they're already golf professionals. So if Tiger Woods uses Callaway clubs, you're gonna go buy those. That's just how it is.
Mhm.
If if all my favorite soccer players wear Adidas, of course I'm gonna go buy Adidas.
Yeah.
That's it's got to be the shoes, right?
So what are some tips that you think, let's focus on small business, right? Obviously we have a certain budget that I have in mind. How would you encourage them to use video to promote and grow their business?
I I recommend using video as much as you can. Content is king. I think we had that in the description. Basically, if you you need to be out there in front of your audience as much as possible, because as of right now, I was looking at some stats, and out of the people surveyed, last year, at the end of last year, 8 out of 10 people watched a video, and that led them to making a decision to buy a product.
Hmm.
So you're going to be doing all this research now to buy products, especially now that we're all kind of stuck at home. Um, so everybody's got to make a decision and do the research. So now they're going to go on YouTube. They're going to go here and there and look at everything. But when you watch a video, whether it's an endorsement or it's a how it works or a promotional video or testimonials, then that will greatly influence your buying decision. And so, what kinds of videos you can do? It could be anything, but I would say, like I said earlier, number one, if you are only going to make one video with your company, you got to make sure that you include testimonials.
Mm,
It
okay.
could be a case study video with just one client of yours, or it could be a whole bunch of clients and do, like a whole um, testimonial montage in a way. And then, of course, a video about your company will raise your brand level. It's what a friend of mine and I call the know, like, trust videos,
Hmm.
because they get to know you, now they get to like you, and now they get to trust you. That's kind of how the progression is. And if we try to make that happen in one video, that's great. At least that's what we strive for. And I mean, there's always going to be all kinds of videos you could do. Social media, if you're always active, at least do a social media video series where you record a whole bunch of videos and you release them once a week. Then that way you have this constant stream of videos going. Then that will slowly but surely increase the level of trust within your audience. And that's the key. The more people trust you, then, and of course they like you, then the more likely they are to buy from you or to recommend you.
Mm. Do you have any study or from your experience, for the people always think about when I spend my marketing budget on a certain, would it be Google AdWords, social media, or video marketing? So, what's the return on investment that people can think about when they start on video? So obviously, it's a commitment. And then if we're talking about small business, if they do a company video, the owner or the executives probably will be the face of the video. And like myself, it's kind of strange and sometimes feeling kind of weird being in front of a camera. So how would you rate that, and how would you encourage to go out on the first step? Because I think a lot of the viewers will agree that video matters, and video that talks about your company matters a lot. But then how do you make really the first step?
Um, well, you don't always have to be on your video. It's always good to have that if you want to generate that trust. But sometimes you just need an explainer video, for example. And then if it's an explainer video that just shows about how a product works, maybe you don't really need the CEO of the company. It just depends on the client. Like, we have clients that are all over the place. Some are very, very shy, and some are not so shy and they would love to be on camera.
Mhm.
Both ways works just fine. It's just a matter of making the right video for that client, for that product. Um, Another thing that can help is a lot of big companies out there are putting out RFPs, requests for proposals.
Mhm.
And so these medium-sized businesses are turning in these proposals. And I work with a lot of technology companies. And when they have these proposals, they have to send in a 50 to 100 page proposal on how their product works and all
Right.
that. But there's also 100 other companies submitting for this. And so one thing that I'll just share this really quickly about a client that of mine that we did a few years ago. They had a RFP from a big healthcare company,
Hmm.
and they reached out to me and they said, "Hey, we need to submit a proposal in the next couple of weeks. Do you think we could do a video to accompany that proposal?"
Mm.
And I said, "Oh, that's a great idea," because you have this paperwork full of ones and zeros, as I like to say, because it's all technology stuff, right? But then you have this video. So now the person at the very top in charge of that RFP is going to watch this 3-minute video on a high level overview of the solution, and now they're going to pay more attention to the proposal. And so that's what we did. And come a month later, I went to that office to do another to meet with somebody else. And then when I came out of the meeting, these guys were standing outside and they're like, "Ivan, we heard you were in the building." I'm like, "Yes." So we had to come down to the second floor we wanted to shake your hand. We are the ones who were in charge of this proposal that you did for us a month ago, this proposal video. And I just want to say that if it wasn't for the video, we wouldn't have gotten the account, and we totally got the account. So we are so happy for you. Thank you so much. Just wanted to shake your hand. I'm like, "Oh, wow, that's cool. And how much, do you mind me asking how much you know, that
Mhm.
account was worth?" And they're like, "Oh, it was $30 million." I'm
Wow,
like,
that's a million
"Oh,
dollar idea.
yeah, exactly." So I'm like, wow, I wish I had charged a commission on that, you know?
I agree because if it is RFP and if it is a meaningful contract, then it takes a lot of money and a lot of people with good capabilities or maybe better capabilities than you do. But then, like you said, at the executive level, there are so many proposals that all looks good. Which one do they look at? If you have a video that is easy to look at, it's short and sweet, then they look at it. They could get the overview of what it is. And for all the technical details, if the CEO or the executive said, I like this company, go check out if their data sounds right. So chances are, if you're at that level, the data are pretty much the similar, but then it just, can you impress your client to look at yours first? Maybe when they look at yours, they're not looking at the others. So I think that's really a $1 million idea.
Yes, exactly. I completely agree. And if you're a smaller business and you can't do a video for every proposal you put in, make a video about the company. That's what we like to call a corporate video, or about the company. It's like a no like trust video basically. But
Mhm.
pretty much make it about the company that kind of talks about the background, where the company's at now, and anything, all of the things that can help influence somebody's decision into deciding, okay, I think I want to try this company out. So even a smaller company, if you're doing proposals, that's always good to just include in your proposal. You make one video for the whole year. Do that. Put it in with all your proposals, or maybe even at the bottom of your email, and then that way people will watch that. And if you have a proposal, then they'll watch that video about your company. They'll be more inclined to look at your proposal. Like, well, this company seems pretty legit to me. I should take a look at that proposal.
Mhm. Yeah, because people are going to look you up anyway. They're going to do research about, who they're, thinking about working with. If you present all the information up front, they say, oh, okay, they're honest. They're telling me who they are. They're telling us maybe who we are not. Then you bring that up front. I think people appreciate that.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like you said, people are always going to do research. So why not steer them in the right direction?
Right. Because if they Google you, you not sure what kind of videos they will find.
Exactly.
So again, I know you wanted to talk about this. You've talked to a lot of clients. You help people in to market the business. What are some of the ways that you suggest for business to keep going during the pandemic?
Well, one of the things is, I've always told my clients this. Well, not always. This year, um, there's two ways that you can deal with this pandemic. One is shut down and just hope that things get better next year, and then the other one is start marketing. Start doing it, as much marketing as you can afford. Don't overextend yourself, but start marketing, because when we finally come out of this, you could be coming out in a much better situation than everybody else. So if you are able to maybe start a YouTube channel and start contributing to that like once a week, or be active on social media, that's all great stuff. Now, one of the things that you should do is be yourself, be honest. Don't this is kind of this has been a really crazy year.
Mhm.
I don't think too many people are going to say this has been an awesome year. So it's probably not a good idea to be too like cheery and happy and everything, because there's going to be that disconnect with your public. You want to kind of bring it down to earth, be honest. You don't have to be a downer, just be level with your audience. And of course, express your concern and anything else like that. So yeah, you just want to be yourself, I guess.
Thank you so much for all the information today. So Ivan, if the viewer want to get in touch with you, what would be the best way for them to reach out?
So you can always contact me at the website. My website's www.ig1 the number one communications.com. Feel free to email me. It's just Ivan at ig1communications.com. If you find me on LinkedIn, I'll, send me a connection. I will probably say yes. I have thousands of connections. I don't mind. And so, yeah, if you want to get in touch, feel free. I'm always, I'm an open book. I'm always up for answering anybody's questions or anything like that.
Thank you so much, Ivan. I love your $1 million idea. I think everyone can benefit if you ever send out a proposal like that. So thank you so much for coming on today, and hopefully everyone can listen and reach out to Ivan if you have more questions.
Yes, thank you so much, Swire. It's always great talking to you. And of course, if anybody needs promo, talk to this guy. He knows his stuff. So yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. All right, take care.
All right. Bye.